Yo, 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 YouTube. How are we doing? Guess what? I am too stupid. I'm too smooth brained of an ape to be able to figure out how to get my green screen working the right way. So I figured, you know what? Let's just get the actual freaking mistress back in the picture. We got a lamp right here. We got the bottle of Kraken. You got a nice diamond representing the nards that are sitting in my short shorts right now. And lamp on. Lamp off. If that's, I bet you money. AMC up when it went up 5 cents right there. Had to. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trey's Trades. We freaking talk fast and don't skip class. I'm going to preface by saying that I'm going to find your advisor or expert. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's get into the video. So today, my friends, my family, my fellow Gorilla Gang, we're going to give you an update on ticker symbol AMC here. And before I get into what I want to talk about here, I got to come out straight up, right? And I got to tell you that what actually happened here today, and just say it. I was wrong, right? Based on the trend that I've seen with AMC play out many times over the last 9 months, the 4-test trend where it tests a level of resistance 3 times, 4th time it gets a break, didn't happen today, right? Based on previous patterns that I'd watched for a long time, I've spent a lot of time looking at this chart. I thought that you'd see a break on that 4th attempt, just like you've seen many times play out, and it didn't happen. So I got to come out and just say that right now, right? We didn't get that break on the 4th test over that level of $48.50, but this doesn't take any discredit away from the fact that I was wrong. I wouldn't quite call that a rejection. And to some extent, you did have a pretty massive sell-off right here, but there's an important piece of the TA, the technical analysis, that you do need to pay attention to that shows you signs of strength continuation, trend continuation, and it really does line up almost picture perfect with what you saw happen back here when we broke 37.50. This triple bottom sort of ascending upside setup, break over that neckline, it's very scarily similar. And you're watching that play out in real freaking time. So we'll go over that. I want to go over the Vortex Data, which gives you an idea of the short interest based off of 85% of the exchange reported data. The website that I use is Vortex, so that's the best information that I have available to me. We're also going to go over the options flow, which gives you an idea of the calls and puts. I use the ask side, meaning long calls and long puts, buy to open, sell to close positions, to get an idea of bullish sentiment and activity that you could expect to come for the future in AMC Stock's price action. And then I also want to show you something here with the SEC and a 10Q that came out from GameStop. And I think this is pretty interesting because there's been a lot of talk about the SEC sort of looking the other way over their shoulder and not paying a lot of attention to the stuff happening right now. So I kind of want to touch on that because it is thought-provoking to say the least. Then we'll go over to TA. I'm going to wrap it up with one last piece because I got an Instagram message today I read, and it really made me sad. It really hit me in the feels regarding, I would say, management of liquidity, right? With your personal investments, with your money. I'm not here to do that for you, right? But I just want to pass something along that I think is important. Perhaps a story, right? So we're going to finish off with that. That's going to be the consensus of the video here today. So without further ado, let's get into this bad boy. So the Vortex Data, right? What do you got rocking right now? Insignificant change in terms of short interest, down about 0.99% with a net difference, borrowed change of 1.18 million shares returned. So small change. You could have seen some sort of effect play out on the stock's price action today with that, but that's really not a lot considering the fact that you had 97 million total volume. I wouldn't say that really changed the price action a whole lot with that much push into the stock overall. What I find to be the most fascinating is the utilization and the short interest both going up as they have been. So check this out. This is the short interest continuing its freaking parabolic, almost like a freaking upside down lightning bolt striking Valhalla. I mean, that's just going straight up, which looks really freaking decent. But beyond that, I want to show you this, the utilization as well as shares on loan. Now, I said I had a theory that the utilization is staying about the same because there are more lenders that are essentially lending out stock, or at least more availability to that stock than there was before. And I think there is a way to back that claim up just based on the data laid out in front of us. So let's just check this out. This is a 94% utilization rate that I have the cursor over here, right? And let's just look at where that lines up with on loan shares. 90 million total shares on loan at the time for 94% utilization, which is actually higher than you have right now, 92.38%. But right now, with that 92.38%, you got 119 million total shares on loan. So what does that mean? Well, speculatively, this is a theory, right? This is not fact. Don't take that for what it is. This is just based on my thought process. You've got two main things. Either A, you've got more availability to stock by these big lenders, or B, this could be a confirmation to some extent of some of the shares in the market that should not exist around AMC. Failure to delivers, naked short selling, all that sort of shenanigans, a synthetic share, quote unquote, right? That could be a sign of the proceedings of those things playing out in the stock itself. Now, I'm just telling you right now, it's a theory. I can't back up my claim. That's just based on data laid out in front of me and watching the stock for the last 9 months. But it does make you wonder, right? I've seen some screenshots from like Fidelity saying that there are no more shares available to borrow. There's more. You can't short the stock. I mean, Webull haven't been able to short the stock for who knows how freaking long now. It's a hard to borrow security, and the utilization is still decently low. So that tells me something, right? That's significant information, and it loads up the barrel of that freaking revolver, giving you more ammo when this thing starts freaking moving. The more shorts piled into this freaking stock, the more shares alone in this stock. If there's ever some sort of forced share recall, similar to what I think you saw back here in early June, late May, it's going to be a big move, and I would anticipate a bigger move than what you saw back then. Now, I can't make that. I can't predict the future. All I can do is take an estimated guess based on previous trend and the data laid out in front of me, but it looks freaking decent. Cost to borrow, it's still in the right direction. It's still going up slightly overall. I'm going to show you this on a trend line of some sort. Cost to borrow right here. You can see that it is still going up. So the average cost to borrow 1.58% right here. On the day, it's 2.95. So it is going up in a trend, but you're not really going to see the big move until two things happen. Utilization's maxed out, meaning that there's a lot of demand, but not a lot of supply. And there's more risk to short sellers. Risk to short sellers comes when there's pressure on short sellers. And that happens when they start going negative. And funnily enough, the pivot point to the shadow realm is approaching, because you are at 56.4 total days average on loan for any sort of share that has been lended out by big institutions. Now, why is that important? Because that lines up very decently well with the price being in that $48-ish range. Now, I'm not here to freaking say anything about why $48 is important, but you can see why that's probably a pretty critical mass point in which shorts do not want this stock to cross over, because that is where it really gets into the favor of the apes, of the retailers out there who are watching this thing freaking start to shove some lemon pepper tendies up their freaking noses. So looking good. Next, I want to move on to the flow of this stock. Now, this is unusual whales. This is a service that I use to watch options flow. Long calls, long puts. I watch the ask side, meaning that I'm not watching the covered calls and that sort of thing, right? These are all calls and all puts that are being bought to either bet that's going up or bet that it's going down, right? Now, I also have $50,000 premium set because I want to see the big buyer stepping into this more so than the smaller bids. And what you see here by looking at this is a massive amount of call option, essentially orders that came in. The premium, 97% calls. The volume, 87.8% calls. And these are at least $50,000 premium orders that are coming in. Big buyers betting that this is starting to go up relatively soon. Mostly targeting October 15th. So the urgency is more so on a monthly swing basis. So big buyers anticipating this thing's going to move pretty hard sometime in the next 1 month or so. Just essentially giving leeway. I choked that mic. Oh, not decent. Essentially betting it's going to go up in the next 1 month or so, but looks good. Another confirmation of what is happening here with the stock price overall. It is looking bullish. You've got freaking great TA. You've got really solid options flow. The shorts have not covered their positions. That's the most important piece of this. Keep it freaking stupid simple. Yes, yeah, you got it. So next I want to talk, that was weird. I've never done that. Sometimes I just try stuff in the middle of my videos just to see how it feels. That didn't feel right. I'm not gonna do that ever again. So now I'm gonna get into this document, the GameStop document. Now this is actually really freaking fascinating, and I want to highlight a specific piece of this. Now check this out. On May 26, 2021, these silly chickens forgot a space right here. The military in me. We received a request from the staff of the SEC for the voluntary production of documents and information concerning an SEC investigation into the trading activity in our securities and the securities of other companies. We are in the process of reviewing the request and producing the requested documents and intend to cooperate fully with the SEC staff regarding this matter. This inquiry is not expected to adversely impact us. Now, this is actually pretty fascinating to me because I've seen a lot of people speculating on what's happening at the SEC. Are they watching this situation? Is there anybody out there that is listening to our voices? And I made an argument a couple months ago, and I said this. The SEC, big law, anything that's legally binding, it to some extent is a dance, right? You have to be careful about making allegations without having the definitive proof laid out in front of us. Now, as apes watching the stock 24/7, it's pretty easy to see that there's some stuff happening here that's corrupt, that's fraudulent, that pushes the price and suppresses the price action, right? We can see that in front of us. But these guys have to be able to show numbers, hard truth facts with names. And that sort of thing is usually done in silence. May 26, 2021. That was 3 months ago. Dang near 3 months ago. June, July, August. Yeah, 3 months ago. That's something. And the most interesting piece to me is this: activity in our securities and the securities of other companies. Now, what other companies out there would people be watching, right? This is GameStop's daily candle price action. Check that out. AMC's. The only difference is the magnitude of the moves, but the moves are the same. One big rip, two big rips, three big rips, fourth big rip. AMC, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the same exact freaking time frames. Now, I get it. These are sympathy plays that run off of each other. When one runs, the other one runs. But the price action is damn near identical sometimes. They make the argument, yeah, but it's the same people buying the stock. Come on. Get out of here with that nonsense. You're trying to tell me that the exact same people are buying the exact same stock at the exact same moment, at the exact same time, every single day? No. Don't buy that. I don't buy that. So that is interesting. And I think that tells you exactly what you wanted to see. So is there going to be some sort of change that comes out of this, right? I obviously would like to think so. I'd like to hope so. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But that is thought-provoking, and it is nice to see in that 10Q, which is coming straight from freaking GameStop themselves. So now I want to come here back to AMC and talk about what happened today and what you can maybe expect moving into the next couple of days. As always, this is a prediction. I can't guarantee anything about the future. Make sure you're locking in your profits, making a sound financial decision, and managing risk, having some sort of plan. That's all that I ask, especially with options. So what did you see today, right? It tested out that 48.50 level, and for a while looked like it was going to hold it. In fact, the wick of the top of this hour, a 15-minute candle, closed above that level, but you had a massive amount of selling pressure ensue for the next hour and a half after that, pushing it back down to the 200 EMA. Now, what is the 200 EMA? It is a 200-day exponential moving average, essentially a smoothed out lagging trend line that gives you an idea of the last 200 days of price action. And that happened twice, where you got to bounce off of that 200 EMA. Typically, this is a bullish sign. A bounce off of that 200 EMA is a sign of continued strength and trend continuation. And furthermore, it did kind of track to some extent the bearish side that I had, essentially laid out in yesterday's video, saying, hey, worst case scenario, you don't get that $48 test, whatever, and it comes back down. It's going to test out that downside level of or upside level of support, but it didn't even come that far. It bounced off the 200 EMA to maybe, that's what I think is going to happen, test out this next $48.50 level again for the sixth time. Now, like I said, I got it wrong. I thought that you were going to see it on the fourth test because it has happened time and time and time again. It's the exact way that I predicted that 37.50 move would bring you exactly what it did. But that's the exact same sort of trend and pattern that I based that on, and it came to fruition. I can't cherry pick, though. I can't come out here and make some bullshit excuse because that's all it is. I based it on a pattern and based it on a trend, and it didn't play out. And that's that just is what it is. I had a lot of confidence in that. And I'm going to show you exactly how much confidence I had. October 1st, this is on September 1st, I put out an October 1 $50 to $55 call entry possibility for anybody out there who was interested in doing that. And I am very sparing about options because I personally think a lot of people blow money on options. That's just how it is because you can't hope for the best. You have to take what is on the chart and play it that way. But it hasn't done it yet. But what I will say is this. I do think it's coming soon and very soon at that, just based on the fact that it is still in this nice upside bullish level of support. You do still have this freaking channel. You do still have this amazing options flow rolling into the stock. You do still have the shorts adding to their positions. Even if not on the day, overall, the trend is there. Pay attention to the trend. I've never bullshitted anybody, right? When the stock's looking bad, I'll tell you. You know you're going to get that from me. I've done that. I'll do it again if it ever comes to that point. But these are still exciting times, and no one should be sweating over a negative 0.9% day because that is insignificant. And that's kind of what I've got for the TA. But I do want to finish it off with a closing message, and it's this. I got a message on Instagram from a gentleman who was frustrated, and I understand to some extent, what his frustration feels like because I've been in rough shoes, man. As a person and as an ape, I think the strongest thing we can do is relay our humanity to others. Right now, I've been in some tough shoes. There were points in time where I made some bad decisions and I put myself in the back of my car. Some things uncontrollable, some things controllable, where I really struggled. I mean, living negative debt, negative 30, 40 grand. And some of that was my own fault. You know, I've said this in a previous video before, but I used to be a gambling addict. I just was. I pissed away a lot of money back when I was a teenager. And for one reason or another, I think it was just a coping mechanism from when my pops passed away about 5 years ago, but I still made bad decisions and it put me there, right? Now, this guy said he's really struggling. He's down thousands of dollars. He's got to pay his rent and he can't afford it because he lost money on call options, right? He put money into calls and now he can't afford to pay what he needs to pay for. Guys, please, we all want this to moon, right? Trust me, I want this to freaking moon. Do not put yourself in a position where you cannot take care of yourself, where you can't sleep at night. That's not sustainable, right? If you want to see AMC do well, you want to see the apes out there in this stock succeed. You got to be able to take care of yourself, because if you can't, the emotional strain on your mind is going to fucking kill you. It is. Because I've been in situations where the choices I made in life weighed on me every single freaking day and I just couldn't sleep. If you're in a position like that, right? If you're in a position where you can't sleep at night, where you're worrying about holding a position overnight, about how much money you've got in any certain stock, you got to take a step back. You got to take a step back. You just cannot put yourself in that situation, right? More important than anything on planet Earth is your well-being. Your mental health, your physical health, all that shit blends together. You gotta stay healthy. You gotta stay financially healthy. That all blends together, I can't put that any other way. I can't put that any other way. Please just keep the food on your table, the roof over your head, keep your family happy, keep yourself happy. That's what I've got for this video. So blah, blah, blah. You know the spiel. Drop a like, consider subscribing. Consider subscribing. Catch you on the next one. Much love, light tabs, and peace.